And after the military occupation arrives the Führer.
Schmeling, like Carnera, was used as a propaganda tool by his government. So when they met in 1938 in a rematch, the fight was pitched as a battle between the Aryan Superman and the upholder of freedom and democracy. Neither fighter was happy with these mantles, and neither of them could shake them off.
But he's got to chop Schmeling's head off first.
When Lewis met Schmeling again in 1938, colour was forgotten as Lewis was given the responsibility of turning back the tide of fascism. The responsibility was heightened even more as Jesse Owens had humiliated Hitler in his own backyards 2 years previously.
Max Schmeling is in New York to train for his long-anticipated crack at the World Heavyweight title. He held it once but lost it to Sharkey in 1932.
Now give me those hands. Now here are the fists that hold fame and fortune for either one of these two young men. Do you think you possess the hand that'll win the fortune?
Well, Jim, I don't know. I hope the best man wins.
Well, John, what do you think about your John Hancock?
I was trying it out, Jim.
Don't miss.
Don't worry.
On the 22nd of June, he is to fight the present holder, a man he's already defeated, Joe Louis. The brown bomber is taking things quietly, dreaming of victory. Among his more strenuous forms of exercise is golf, and I should say that as a golfer, he is a very fine boxer. Tell us if your hands are in good shape, Mr. Lewis.
Well, this one is all right, but this one is all right, too.
When 70,000 gathered in Yankee Stadium for the Lewis-Schmeling rematch, this was more than a fight. Joe symbolized America, Schmeling represented Nazi Germany. In time, history would repeat itself.
Attraction, 15 rounds for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Weighing 193, wearing purple trunks, outstanding contender for heavyweight honors, the former heavyweight title holder, Max Schmeling. Weighing 198 3/4, wearing black trunks, the famous Detroit Brown Bomber, world's heavyweight champion, Joe Louis.
The entire world is waiting for the result of this enormously publicized heavyweight championship fight. We're moments away from the opening bell. Joe Louis, heavyweight champion of the world, comes out for round one in the dark trunks with the white stripe. Max Schmeling is wearing the all-dark trunks. Since winning the world heavyweight title, Joe has defended it 3 times. In his last defense of the title 10 months ago, Joe KO'd Harry Thomas in the 5th round. Max Schmeling won the heavyweight championship of the world in June of 1930, 8 years ago, from Jack Sharkey. Max was awarded the fight on a foul when he was hit low by a blow thrown by Sharkey. Schmeling lost a close, tough 15-round decision to Sharkey and lost the world heavyweight title 2 years later. Max is attempting to become the first former heavyweight champion ever to regain the precious title. 6 other champions have tried and failed. Champion Joe Louis wants this victory desperately. Joe is deadly serious in there. An explosive right to the jaw hurts Max Schmeling. Joe Louis all over Max Schmeling here in round 1. Ripping punches to the head. Joe steps back. A dynamite right to the jaw, and Schmeling goes down here in the 1st round. Max is up at the count of 2. Louis moves in. Ripping punches by the Brown Bomber send Schmeling down again. A crushing right explodes off Schmeling's jaw, and Max goes down for the 3rd time.
Joe Louis shocked the world with his first round knockout of Max Schmeling, the Germans had cut the radio broadcast of the fight when Max began to go down. As the world drifted into World War II, Joe Louis had established himself as one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time.
The brown bomber didn't let anyone down. He touched punch perfection, beating Schmeling in 2 minutes. Nazi observers ordered the commentary cut off when Schmeling's cries of pain became audible after Louis had broke 2 vertebrae in his back. The spectre of Jack Johnson loomed large. Louis was careful to present himself with dignity, some would say civility, to the boxing public, but the tightrope he walked was an almost impossible one, placating white opinion whilst remaining a role model to the black community.
Everybody quiet here, will you?
Now listen, Joe. We ask you questions and all you've got to do is answer, see? Well, after a bit, Joe does get the idea. And is that boy bright?
Joe, how do you rate? What do you think of Galento for just toughness?
Well, Galento, I think he's just as tough as anybody ever fought. I think he's good in game, very tough. Take a punch with the best of anybody I think I ever hit.
Joe, do you think you could knock Tony out again?
Well, I don't know if I can knock him out again, but I could try awful hard.
It seems quite safe. We'll have a go at this. Put your head on, Joe. See, that's too easy. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Stop.